All right, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about a really powerful idea for, well, these exhausting times we're all living in. It comes from Katherine May's book, Enchantment, and it's all about how you can find that sense of wonder again, especially when you feel totally and completely burnt out. Wow, I mean, that quote really hits you, doesn't it? Katherine May starts with this incredibly raw feeling. It's that sense of being so drained that you don't even want things anymore. The curiosity is just gone. It's an emptiness that I think, if we're being honest, a lot of us have felt at some point. And look, if you feel this way, it is absolutely not a personal failing. It's something so many of us are going through together. We're all trying to deal with a world that just feels so complicated and overwhelming. And the result? Yeah, it's this constant low-level anxiety and this feeling of being disconnected from everything. So, what's the way out of this? According to May, the answer isn't some new productivity app or another wellness trend you have to keep up with. No, it's something she calls enchantment, and it's really just a different way of paying attention to the world. But to really get a handle on the solution, we have to first understand the problem. May calls the time we're living in the age of disenchantment, this era where it feels like all the magic has just evaporated from our daily lives. So, what does that actually look like? Well, it's that feeling of unreality, fueled by a news cycle that never, ever stops. We feel divided from each other. We've kind of lost touch with the old stories and myths that used to give us a sense of place. And more than anything, we see ourselves as separate from the natural world instead of being a part of it. It all just adds up. But here's the thing about May's journey back to finding wonder. It wasn't some huge, expensive expedition. It actually started really small, during a crisis, and it led to this massive shift in how she saw everything. So picture this. It's deep in lockdown, she's feeling completely burnt out, and she starts dreaming about mountains. She was craving that feeling of being totally humbled by something huge and beautiful. She thought awe was this thing you had to travel to, like a destination she just couldn't get to. And then, the big moment. One night, she couldn't sleep, so she just stepped outside to look at the moon. And in that one simple act, looking up at the moon and the stars, it hit her. Awe wasn't thousands of miles away on a mountaintop, it was right there. It had been there the whole time. And this is the key, the absolute heart of the idea. Wonder is not a place you visit. It's a choice. It's an act of attention. It's something you can practice and build no matter where you are or what's going on in your life. Okay, so if enchantment is all about attention, what does that attention actually look and feel like? Well, May breaks it down into a few really important qualities. Let's start with her definition. It's not about just passively zoning out. It's active. She calls it a fluid, questing engagement. It means you're actively exploring, you're using your curiosity to really connect with what's around you. So she highlights three main things here. First, it's investigative. It's part of a bigger search for how to live a good life. Second, it's curious, letting yourself get fascinated by something, the way a kid gets totally obsessed with a rock collection. And third, it's humble, and this part is surprisingly comforting.
Think about it. We usually think that being small or insignificant is a bad thing, but May flips that idea on its head. Realizing you're just this tiny part of an immense, ancient universe, it's not scary. It's actually a huge relief. It takes all that pressure off your shoulders. It connects you to something so much bigger than yourself.
So let's get into the practical side of this, because enchantment isn't something you just find one day and then you're set for life. Nope. It's something you have to practice, day in and day out. You really have to think of your sense of wonder like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weaker. May found that her ability to feel that curiosity came back slowly, but it did come back, all through consistent, gentle practice. So how do you exercise that muscle? It's a really simple 3-step process. First, just notice. Deliberately turn your attention to something, anything, that catches your eye. Second, contemplate. Don't just glance at it and move on. Really spend a moment with it. And third, learn. Get curious. Ask, what's the name of that star? Or how do the tides actually work? That learning part just makes the fascination even deeper.
And the real power of doing this is that it gives you a little hit of wonder, even on your worst days. It becomes this amazing source of resilience right when you need it most.
A while later, May went through a period of being really sick, basically confined to her home. She couldn't travel, couldn't do much at all. But that practice of enchantment that she'd built up, it completely sustained her.
She knew that wonder wasn't out there somewhere, it was right where she was.
And she found it in the smallest things imaginable. A glimpse of the moon through a crack in the window, the sound of birds in the morning, a tiny little rainbow on our bathroom wall from the sunlight. She even realized the ancient elements, earth, water, fire, air, were all right there with her.
One day, a single flower popped up in her garden that she hadn't even planted. And to her, it felt like a miracle, a sign that life just finds a way. But she could also be curious about it scientifically, right? Like, how did that bulb survive? Enchantment lets you hold both of those ideas at once, the magic and the biology.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. This whole practice is about tying your one small individual life to the vast, incredible universe that you're a part of. It's about realizing that the smallest things can tell you something about the whole thing. So I'll leave you with the same question May asks. Don't worry about finding some epic, life-changing experience. Just for a moment, right now, ask yourself, what's one thing that's making you feel just a little bit interested? That's it. That's the place to start.